binge when Brian Kibler is streaming. Brian Kibler's stream, very entertaining, and I'm glad that he has moved on to Splinter Fright instead of playing modern green-white Squadron Hawks, which made me sad to watch. His opponent, Quentin White, not Brian Kibler's opponent, but Brett Shirley's opponent, is playing Wolf Run Ramp, very close to actually what Brian Kibler played to the championship of the last Pro Tour in a mirror match versus Paolo Vito Dama de Rosa. Not De Rosa.
PVDDR?
Yeah, De Rosa is not his last name. Quentin, up a game here, he pretty handily tore apart Brett Shirley with basically just going over the top with Primeval Titan and then Inferno Titan.
Yeah, this Splinter Fight deck does not look like the kind of deck that is well set up to handle Primeval Titans, but it could just have an explosive draw and win. Let's see. Brett mulligans. Both of these decks pretty heavy synergy, so the mulligans aren't going to hurt them so much. Quentin mulled game 1 still was reasonably set up to cast a Titan on turn 4. Ooh,
Brett is down to
5. Oh, that is that might be a little bit hurting here. He still has some very explosive starts. He can just birds into Tracker's Insight into a giant Splinter Fight almost immediately. So he's not dead. He's just
there are so many ways that Brett can overcome a mull to 5, but no one, even if they've got a deck like that, no one wants to mull to 5.
No one really wants to see a 5-card hand unless they're playing Bizarre Baghdad.
Bird, turn 1. Very important, I think, for a deck like Brett's.
It looks like a mulch. This might be one of those draws. Quentin just has a Copperline Gorge.
Turn 2 mulch. A classic card from the days yore. 1 land, a Splinter Fright, a Beast Within. Just 1 land. 3 creatures in the yard is actually potentially... No. Oh, yeah. 2 is potentially really useful.
Despite what it says, is not a creature.
This is true. Rampant Growth from Quentin White. Probably getting a beta land.
Beta Forest, probably.
Let's see what he gets. Beta Forest.
Brett plays a Hinterland Harbor to go with his Darkslick Shores. He has 4 mana in play, and let's see what threat he can drop to keep up the pressure, or if he has anything.
I started playing in late beta. I only have 2 beta lands left in my collection. 1 island and 1 mountain.
Just passes the turn, which...
What does that indicate if he passes the turn? I mean, granted, he did double mulligan. Maybe Dream Twists?
Probably just mulligan to 5.
Tracker's Instinct?
That's sorcery.
Is it a sorcery?
Yes.
Okay, then Dream Twist or nothing.
Yeah. That card would be very, very good if it was an instant.
I have not played that one yet.
It would be very, very good as opposed to just...
wow. Red Sun's removed from the game.
On the subject of, what is that ever relevant? When your opponent's playing Splinter Fright. Beast Within a land.
And a turn.
Because it looks... Quentin missed a land drop, so this could... and there's the Knot of the Bone we were talking about in hand, it looks like.
What do we got here? I can't tell.
That's a Tracker's Instinct?
Okay, he's like, yes, it resolves land,
something?
land, and what is that?
Something that goes to hand that I do not...
I don't know that card. Is it an altered card?
Possibly?
It's off the screen now.
Let's see. What could it be?
Well, let's see. Looking at...
Maybe it's a... Did they make a alternate Ghoul Tree?
Maybe there's an alternate art Ghoul Tree, but I think if it's not an alternate art... Well, we're going to find out from the judges what that is. There's the card in play now. I think it might be an alternate art Boneyard Worm?
That's what the...
Okay.
Yeah. There we go. I knew one of those cards had been a game day promo, I believe.
Boneyard Worm in the in play now.
Quentin
fairly
hits his
big.
land drop, but this 3/3 beast coming in to match this Boneyard Worm, which, if I counted right, is a 2/2 still. We'll see how big it is if this Tracker's Instinct gets flashback. Ooh, that looks like a birthing pod. This could get interesting.
Okay. Brett Shirley flashes back Tracker's Instinct. 1,
Armor
2,
Scab,
3,
Splinter
4.
Fright, Casted Cage Breakers.
That's +3/+3 to Boneyard Worm.
It's +2/+2. You have to take a creature.
Oh, you have to take a creature. You can't not take it.
Yes.
What do you take here? Splinter Fright?
Has to be Splinter Fright. You're a little bit too far away from the Cage Breakers, so I don't think I want Armored Scab. So Boneyard Worm hits up to I believe 4/4, enough to stop this Beast token. Looks like Quentin boarded in a combust, which kills this dungeon geist, but kills an armored scab, and that's about it. Merfolk looter, still stuck on lands. Quentin passes with the combust up in hand.
So we have a 4/4 Boneyard Worm, we believe, correct?
Yep, I believe the mulch hit 2 creatures, and the Tracker's Instinct hit 2 as well. There's a
Another
mulch again. Ruinator, Tracker's Instinct, Ghoul Tree, and a land.
Just one land.
6/6 worm.
It gets fast. It gets big so fast.
Yeah.
And in for some damages.
6 to the face. I mean, he's definitely, even though he's down on life, he has to raise a Titan. Eventually Quentin's deck is going to pull ahead. It looks like a second Boneyard Worm.
That is a second worm.
Slagstorm
not big enough.
3 is much less than 6.
So that play from Brett, that Beast Within on a land, look at how just crippled Quentin is now.
Yeah.
He's got,
is
that double combust?
That is double combust sitting in his hand with a grand total of 5 targets.
Now I seem to recall that Brian Kibler ran 1 combust in his sideboard.
May have bumped it up, seeing the number of spirits. It probably got a lot better against Dungeon Geist and Dwarf.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to see big beats coming on in. Quentin throws somebody in the way, and perhaps a Cassid Cage Breaker here from Brett Shirley, just to
maybe just a Splinter Fright that he had before.
Just a Splinter Fright is just fine.
Yeah, no fear of anything. Can't play Blasphemous Axe. No mana. 4 lands. Quentin surveys his hand.
Way too late.
8 life. He can play a Huntmaster and try to stabilize, but he's mostly just chump blocking and hoping that this Splinter Fright doesn't hit some guys. Debating if he wants to actually do anything, or let's see. Probably, I don't think there's a card in Quentin's deck that actually answers this. And there's a Huntmaster making a wolf.
He could have had out
goes up
turns.
To 10.
He could have had this Huntmaster out several turns earlier if only he had not had a Beast Within take out one of his lands.
Birthing Pod, Forest to Graveyard. Still 6/6s.
Big bigs.
Does Brett have another Hunter's or Tracker's Instinct in the graveyard?
I don't think so. In they come. We got Chump Chump against the non-tramplers.
Yep. Going down to 4. He does in fact have a Tracker's Instinct.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he flipped one off. Yeah, he played 1 from hand and flipped another off the mulch.
And
Metamorph and Birthing Pod. Just make another Splinter Fright. Actually, I wouldn't. I have this constant fear of the card Blasphemous Act.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't have done that, but it's reasonable just to sort of slam
and
a bunch
scoops
of
it up.
Yep.
I think what I would have liked better there, if you said you saw a Birthing Pod.
Yeah.
I would have liked just putting a Birthing Pod in play and upgrading
from Boneyard to Splinter Fright.
Yeah. I mean, because
like that.
There's nothing wrong with that. You're not actually committing more to the board that gets hurt by a
Blasphemous
card
Act?
like Blasphemous Act.
Yeah.
And what you are doing is you're putting onto the table a Birthing Pod.
No, playing. Yeah, I'm used to when this deck probably hasn't had a Blasphemous Act in it for a long time, but I'm used to thinking back to the days of the Dungrove Green deck we were talking about earlier, where they just had Blasphemous Act and that was their sweeper, and that's just something why not play around this marginal out, but very far ahead that game.
Yeah.
Ended up coming in and.
Great play. I mean, I'm always so scared of casting a card like Beast Within on a land. And, maybe I'm just overly frightened of it, but we saw how effective it could be if your opponent stumbles at all.
I think against Wolfram, that's what you have to do is kind of just hope to time walk them. We saw game 1. Quentin actually missed his land drop, and if he had been LD'd once, wouldn't have gotten to 6 for that Primeval Titan. That's not an uncommon scenario where you don't actually hit the full 6 lands that you need. There's only 25 in the deck, and that's, if I remember correctly, about right to get to 4 without any, or 4 very easily without any ramp. Maybe not the 5th, and maybe not the 6th.
Commander number 1.
Especially given how much Wolf Run tends to mulligan. Tends to very aggressively mulligan for these very idealized hands.
So let's pretend you're Quentin White. You just got knocked down by, pretty much some Tarmogoyfs.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you do to your sideboard plan? You had these combusts. Do you take them out and maybe make them into some Beast Withins or some Ratchet Bombs?
I would not have combust on my sideboard. I don't know if you want Beast Within, though.
What do you do?
Try and kill him on the play. Yeah, the amount Beast Within shrinks a Boneyard Worm is sometimes a little bit marginal, it feels, I think. It doesn't actually solve the issue of being attacked and dying. But you definitely do not want Combust.
So maybe a Ratchet Bomb and a Sword of Feast and Famine? The reason I say Sword is just because being able to have something that can not have to chump, but can in fact block.
I could see boarding in a Sword. I could see people wanting to board in a Sword. I would not personally. I don't think that's your game plan against this deck. I don't think you're trying to actually get sword advantage. At most, it would just be turning a random creature into a guy that can block, which is... I think you're just trying to beat them with Titans this game. Like, you have a bigger end game, you need to get to the end game, and sword doesn't get you there.
So, just a quick little note on the English language. This is actually the claim that AJ Soccer made on his one of his recent AJ TVs, but also we're seeing it here in the Twitter feed that there are apparently two plurals to Nexus. One is Nexuses, and the other is Nexus. This mirrors the claim that AJ made on AJ TV. I don't know if these claims are true. I have not gone to dictionary.com, but apparently it is not Nexi.
Well, that's unfortunate. Shuffling up here for game 3.
Shuffle. On the play, Quentin, I think, has just... Being on the play is often a very big advantage,
right.
But I think in a matchup like this where you're talking about a deck that might have a Titan on turn 4.
Yeah.
That's a big deal if you're on the play compared to on the draw.
Yeah, especially because Brett can only do so much setup before that Titan hits.
Now remember, Brett won that game off of a Mull to 5.
Yes. So let's see if Quentin can keep this. Oh, Brett's going to mulligan to 6.
I think that's the key for Brett is mulliganing down to a small hand. And that's how he wins.
Got a mulligan to a good hand. Quentin's hand looked pretty good. I could see a Galvanic Blast, a Birds of Paradise, a Hunt Master, some lands. Seems like it does some stuff.
And our
Glenn Jones chiming in.
Our plucky reporter on the floor, Glenn Jones, saying his own 2 cents on the Nexus's controversy. The biggest controversy to hit Magic in this week.
In the past 15 minutes, we'll say.
Claiming essentially that as there is a card called whatever Nexus, whether it's Inkmouth, Blinkmouth, whatever, that you would be calling it Nexuses exclusively.
Let's see. See if things have started up over here, or if Brett went down to 5. Looks like they're starting to play.
There we go. The game already in progress. It's turn 3.
Quentin has a Hunt Master on 3 on the play, and it looks like he Galv Blasted down a Merfolk Looter.
There we go.
Brett on 3 lands can now play a Splinter Fright. Oh, Armored
Scab. The big 1/4.
It's Dungeon Geist. Ooh.
Is that no creatures or one creature?
Just the exact one he doesn't want to hit, Dungeon Geist. Quentin has another land here.
I have to say, I really do like that Beta Forest. It's really nice.
Brett Shirley taking 2 from this attack, and Quentin might just pass here.
I think, yeah, he passes for the flipsies.
Yep. Ravager of the Fells making an appearance. Brett dropping to 16. Let's see.
What do we got?
Birds of Paradise, probably? Yep.
Bird, and a second land will turn the Hunt Master back on, but produce another wolf as well.
Yeah, it's a very awkward situation. Well, I have to beat this 4/4, so I have to make a board presence, but...
Oh, Galv Blast.
Takes down the Armored Scab along with the 2 from the Ravager on upkeep. Quentin drawing his card. He's got a couple lands. Maybe he has a Titan.
How did the Armored Scab die to that Galv Blast?
2 in the upkeep from a Ravager flip.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Inferno
I didn't catch that.
Titan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
1 to birds, 2 to you.
Wow.
6 to the face.
Are there outs? I don't know if Brett has any outs to this.
Yeah. Probably not. Brett dropping to 8 life, facing down 12 power and an Inferno Titan trigger. Probably a little bit of discussion about some life totals here because of Ravager. It's a Beast Within on the Inferno Titan. So looking not quite dead, but still in a rough spot.
Pretty rough.
Is that the Knot of the Bone? I think that's the Knot of the Bone.
Nibble, 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 nibble.
Knot of the Bone and Dream Twist, it looks to be his 2 cards.
Go, he says. I'm still not... Oh, I'm not dead yet. There we go. Huh.
9 power on board. I probably would have main phase Dream Twisted, so you don't accidentally flip the Ravager back, which is about to happen probably. Dream Twist. Land.
Massacre.
Massacre. Gaining 1, 2, 3. How much life of this?
A few.
Not enough. Not enough to take him out of dead on board next turn is the important part.
Yeah.
Quentin just plays another land and passes, content with his 9 power in play.
What do you got here for us, Brett? Anything exciting?
Yeah. Looks like, let's see. Oh, Huntmaster's flipping back here.
Is he going to copy it, or what's happening?
Let's see. Quentin going up to 24.
Cage Breaker.
Cage Breakers.
Okay.
That is correct, and Brett's at 9. This got interesting.
Judges, I'd like to remind you to enforce slow play.
Looks like Quentin drew an Ink Moth Nexus,
Please
but
enforce slow play.
Cage Breakers does a lot.
Cage Breakers is awesome.
Let's see. Attack eats a guy on the block because it has to. Brett lives, assuming the amount of life gained off of that Knot of the Bone is correct. He's going to make 5 wolves. The Huntmaster's not going to attack. Presumably going to flip to get in the way of this Cage Breakers.
And here, you just block the beast. I mean,
Yeah.
if Quentin has a sweep spell,
It's going to kill it no matter what he blocks, yeah.
and he can't just take the damage, because if he takes the damage, then Quentin, all he has to do is pass, and the flip of the Huntmaster
Yep,
will kill you.
Yeah. And, you know, one of the sweep spells you're playing around is Slagstorm. That can also do 3 to players. Very, very little usability, but can do that.
And we might see a sweep spell here from Quentin to clear the table, or
Just
a
an
pass. Wow.
Ravager
Wow.
the Fells showing up. 2 and 2. Brett dropping to 3 life.
Then-
Still has a Knot of the Bone in graveyard.
Yep. He's gonna Dream Twist.
Yep.
See if he gets any more action. Boom. Twisty,
See how many
twisty.
wolves we can make today. 0. No hits.
Is that no hits?
That is no
What did he
hits.
get there? Land.
Mulch.
In for some number. Was
This deck
that,
only has 26 creatures. That seems a
little light.
surprisingly low to me.
$10 draft number 2. Choose secretary, please. $10 draft number 2.
Yeah, I feel like I would want more creatures in this deck than just 26.
Oh, look at this. The Huntmaster can just eat that that Cage Breaker.
5 wolves coming in. Huntmaster each Cage Breakers. Brett gains 10 life up to 13.
Not great.
Well, he does have a lot of wolves. Nexus jumping to the cause.
Nothing in Brett Shirley's hand but a land, I believe.
Possibly. I didn't really get a good look at it as he drew.
Oh, there's still that bird hanging out.
Yeah. Ready to chump block on a moment's notice. This chump blocking seems a little aggressive. I'm trying to figure out
Why that Cage Breaker is still alive.
Yeah. You're not actually that far behind. I would have just eaten the Cage Breakers and tried to fight wolves versus wolves. Quentin's now in a position where he could just die.
Yeah, he could die next turn.
Yeah.
Like the Knot of the Bone is 10 life.
Yeah.
A Slagstorm still kills Brett Shirley, but
I think they're discussing. Let's see.
okay, let's see what happens. What are the cards that Quentin can use just to win the game? Inferno Titan just wins the game.
Well, Brett gaining.
It's gain,
Brett-
gain
gain-
10, take 8. Oh, so Inferno Titan won't kill him.
Cassidy,
Okay.
Wolf Run would have killed him.
Yeah.
I believe. 1, 2, 3. Yep, Wolf Run would have been exact.
Pass. And I think Quentin just died.
Yeah, I think he just died. I don't know about that.
That cage breaker block. That was huge.
Yeah, I think he definitely should have blocked the cage breakers and taken it down there.
Was he just trying to not put a creature in the yard for life gain for the Knot
I'm
of the
trying
Bone?
to figure it out, and I'm not very sure over what occurred.
And now, yeah, if I'm Brett Shirley, I attack with nearly probably the team.
Maybe he was just assuming he couldn't win without a Slag Storm, but he definitely had
He holds back one wolf just in case. And there's going to be 5 more wolves. Nope. He doesn't hold it back. That's better. I like that much better.
Everybody, get in there.
Booster draft is waiting on you.
Yeah, this.
Also, I need.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't just kill the cage breakers. I think killing the cage breakers doesn't, maybe he just thought he couldn't win without a Slack Storm, but Raptor of the Fellows plus 2 wolves definitely takes out that many. 5 wolves? That's no big deal, They're down to 2 wolves on the first attack. That's not enough to get anywhere.
Quentin, unless you got a Moment's Piece, which is not legal.
What can he even do in this situation?
Let's see.
He has Galvanic Blast? That's not enough.
Not enough.
Is that 1 card in hand? Yeah.
There exist no cards that I'm aware of in Quentin's deck that would save him in this position.
Yep. If he had missed, if the other wolf hadn't attacked, there was an out, but as is.
There we are.
That is lethal.
Brett Shirley takes it.
That Knot of the Bone was clutch.
Right?
Yeah.
You were wanting to take those out.
I don't know. I was wanting to race this deck, but, maybe if they just don't have a Titan, you can kill them that way.
I mean, I think I like 1 Knot of the Bone. I don't know if I like 2 Knot of the Bone.
Right.
Because